Interpolation is when we look through a data set in order to calculate an estimate. So we're going to be using it to work out the median, interquartile range, interpercentile range from a grouped frequency table. Okay. Normally, if we've got a standard frequency table, we know exactly what the data is. But when it's a grouped frequency data, we don't. So we have to calculate an estimate. And we can do that using interpolation. So this is the formula that we need to know. That the linear interpolation, so the piece of data that we want to find, is the lower boundary plus the number of places into the group divided by the group frequency multiplied by the class width. Really important formula. We need to know that one off by heart. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through an example of finding the median from a group frequency table using this formula. So we have got here different heights, not sure what the object is, frequency of each group, and then the cumulative frequency down the side, just to help us out. Whenever you're working out median or something like that, the cumulative frequency can give you a bit of a helping hand. We can see as well that our total frequency is 36. Will be useful in a bit. 36 items, the median is going to be halfway through those. So in this case, the 18th item. Now, 18th is going to be in this group here. If you think about it, the first 5, 3, 4, 5 are in the 0 to 10. Then the next 13 are in 10 to 20. So 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then moving on, we've got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way up to 32. And that's going to be in our 20 to 30 region. Okay. 18th one we want. And we know that it is the 5th number in that range. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th item in that range. The class width, we also need for our formula. So we're looking at the actual range of heights here that we've got in that region. We've got from 20 to 30, so 30 take away 20 is 10. And then at this point, we write down our formula, substitute it all in. So our lower boundary is 20. Number of places into the group is 5. Group frequency, of course, is our 19. And class width is 10. So type that all in, gives us 22.63. Okay. So hopefully that's not too tricky. Use the formula, work out all the different values. The hardest part here is actually figuring out which different region the median is or the percentile is and so on. Okay, so now it is your turn. The one on the left, you need to find the interquartile range. So working out the lower quartile and the upper quartile, and then finding the difference between them. Exactly the same way as we've just done with the median. And then the one on the right, we are looking for the interpercentile range. So looking at the 10th percentile, which is going to be 0.1 through the data, the 90th percentile, which is 0.9 through the data, and then the difference between. So pause the video, have a go, then when you're ready for the answer, press play again. Okay, so let's have a look at this. First one, how many pieces of data are there? Was 53, 65, 80, 90, 100 pieces of data. So that means that the lower quartile is going to be the 25th piece of data, and the upper quartile, Q3, is going to be the 75th piece of data. Median Q2 would be the 50th if we wanted that. So working out the lower quartile, we know it's the 25th piece of data. So it's going to be in that second section there. Okay. First 24 in the top one, then the 25th is the next one. Okay. So we've got our lower bound plus 1, because it's the first piece of data in that section, divided by our class frequency, which is 29, multiplied by our class width, in this case is 500. That tells us our lower quartile is 1017.74 years. Same idea then with our second one. We probably could do the cumulative frequency. So we've got 24, 40, 53, and then 70, not 70, is it? 50, 65, and then 100. So our 75th piece of data is going to be in this section here. So it's going to be our lower boundary plus it's the 10th piece of data out of a class frequency of 35 times by 300 gives us 1786.21. Always double check at this point the upper quartile is larger than your lower. It's a good way to double check that you haven't made a big error there. Then finally, working out the interquartile range, we just subtract and there's our answer. Okay, interpercentile range, working out 10th percentile, we're going to do 41, which is our total frequency, times by 0.1 gives us 4.1. So it's the 4.1st piece of data. And of course, that is going to be in our first section. Cumulative frequency, we've got 17, 22, 30, 41. So using the formula, we've got 40 plus 4.1, because it's the 4.1st piece of data in the whole set, so it definitely is in the first section, divided by our class frequency of 17, times by 60, which is our class width, gives us 54.47. We then do the same thing with P90, so the 90th percentile. Okay, so it's going to be 600. So we're looking in this section here, plus 6.9, because it's 6.9 piece of data in, okay, or 4.1 back from the end, divided by 11, because that's our class frequency, times by 400, which is our width, gives us 850.91. And finally, the range, subtract, gives us 796.44. So hopefully this has made sense. If you're a little bit sure with the interquartile range and percentile range, go back and have another look at those and then return here when that makes a bit more sense for you.